It's Owen here from Otech, and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of some fans from Scythe. These are some brand new fans that they have just released. These are the Kaze Flex White Edition fan, as well as the ARGB version, as well as the Wonder Snail 120. Now let's take a look at the White Edition fan first. And as you can see, this fan is pretty much a similar design to their previous and pretty popular Kaze Flex fan series. It's all white now. Even the cables are white, and it also uses the same fluid dynamic bearing that they have been using in their fans for quite a long time now. So they should have pretty long lifespan as they're rated for 120,000 hours. And as you can see on the features on the backside, they're really proud of their bearing design. And you can also see the specifications here on the bottom, and you can see that there's 3 versions of this fan, the 1200, 1500, and 1800 RPM. Personally, I would just get the fastest one because you can turn them down anyways with the motherboard. Now let's take a look at the packaging and see what you get inside. So obviously you get all white accessories, I guess. You can see this 4-pin power extender cable, which is sleeved in white, as well as a white cable that's being used. And you also get these black screws, which is the only non-white component in this whole package. And here's the fan itself, which is all white in design, even the rubber corners, as well as the frame and the fan blades, which is kind of not typical because some of the white fans that you see on the market just have white blades and black frames, but this one actually have everything painted white, which is pretty nice to see. So it should blend really well to white builds that you might see, especially for example if you use those new white GPUs like the Zotac White Edition GPUs, as well as the Gigabyte Vision GPUs. Now on the back of the fan you can see the sticker is kind of like this gray finish on it, which is a bit different from the typical Scythe fan stickers. And you can also see the cable they use is also white all the way to the fan motor, and it's also sleeved in white sleeving all the way to a white fan connector. So the attention to detail to the white coloring is really nice here. Everything is colored white on this fan, so if you really want to build like an all-white PC build, this will be a really great choice. And especially by using a proven fan design like the Kaze Flex series, which performs pretty well from what I've seen, this is a really good choice, I think. And honestly, the fan feels really high quality as well, so I really like it at this point. But for the performance, obviously I'll have to see once I do a full review on it. But yeah, that's how it looks. I think it looks pretty nice. Let's take a look at the ARGB version, which is pretty much the same fan again. It's a Kaze Flex series. It's the same 1800 RPM PWM fan as well. It's the same basic fan design, except it does support ARGB connection. And that's the main feature of this fan, as you can see on the back. And for the specifications, again, you have 3 main fan models, which is the 1200, 1500, and 1800 RPM. Again, just pick the fastest one, and you can slow them down using the motherboard. So I don't see a point of buying the slower fans. Now for the accessories, this time you get all black cabling as well as all black sleeving, which is super nice as well. And here you also get the fan itself, which is different from the white edition, as you can see. Only the fan blades are white, and it's actually translucent as well. And you also get some black fan screws as well to install, as well as a 4-pin extender, like I said, it's just all black. And even the fan cables are all black as well, so it's super stealth. Even the ARGB cable is all black, so you don't have any problems of seeing like mustard and ketchup colored cables in your spaghetti mess of wires because of your ARGB. This is going to be all black, and it's all sleeved. Even all the way to the fan motor, it's all black. So really, again, the attention to detail that Scythe gives to their looks of their fans and their coolers is really nice, because all this looks super neat instead of just using some colored cables and using some sleeving, which is really what Noctua does. And again, it's the same basic fan design, so the only difference is in the colors of the plastics. Like the fan blades and the rubber corners and the frame are different. This one is all black on the frame and the rubber corners. And it's also, well, these fans are really stiff too. So I think these Kaze Flex series fans are really high quality, because even the fan blades have very little flex in them. So it feels really high quality and seems like a really nice quality fan. And well, the ARGB also is something to be seen because I haven't tried it, but I think it should look pretty decently, just like other fan hub colored fans. But yeah, let's take a look at the next fan now, the Wonder Snail, which is the only really different and new fan design from Scythe. And this one's a high-speed 2400 RPM fan, which is also meant to be like a high static pressure fan design, as you can see from the fan blades. And supposedly it has a precision fluid dynamic bearing, which is probably different, but it seems like they're the same thing as the Kaze Flex fans, because they have the same MTBF rating as well, 120,000 hours, which is quite a lot. And you can also see on the packaging, they really focus more on the engineering efforts on this fan instead of just like the aesthetics, because that's the whole purpose of this fan, being a high performance fan. And you can also see the specifications here. Again, you have 3 different models, the 1200, 1800, and 2400 RPM fan. But again, just pick the fastest one, because you can lower them all the way to 200 RPM using your motherboard. So I really don't see the point of buying the slower speed fans. And also you can see that the amperage is lower than the Kaze Flex fans, with this only using 0.15 amps compared to 0.4 amps. And you can also see the specification is also different in terms of airflow and static pressure compared to the Kaze Flex fans as well. Now you can see here the Kaze Flex fans compared to these Wonder Snail fans. There's a difference in the CFM, in which the Kaze Flex has a higher maximum CFM even though it has lower RPM. It reaches 79 CFM compared to the Wonder Snail at 77 CFM, while on the static pressure side is the opposite, in which the Kaze Flex only reaches 25mm H2O, or the Wonder Snail fan reaches like 35mm H2O, which is a lot higher. And it also has apparently a lower dBA rating as well as a lower amperage rating than the Kaze Flex, so this fan is meant for static pressure, not maximum airflow, and it's also probably looks like a bit more of an efficient fan compared to the Kaze Flex fans, probably thanks to the kind of like swept forward fan design. But yeah, we'll see once we power it up and see what's the difference in noise that we can actually perceive. But yeah, let's take a look at the fan now. That's enough about the specification. And as you can see, the fan is completely different. It also includes a different set of mounting, which you also see you have some like rubber mounting pins, just like some of the more expensive fans, instead of just screws. But they also do include some black screws as well for mounting to the case, which is really nice to see as well. It's still included because sometimes you just want to hard mount it. Shouldn't have any issues either because you have some rubber corners. You also have a 4-pin extension that's also sleeve and all black, which is again really nice attention to detail. And finally, the fan itself, you can see the fan blades are completely different style compared to the Kaze Flex fan. Even the frame is also a bit different. And honestly, this fan feels a bit heavier than the Kaze Flex fans, so they might have been using like more plastic on the frame because it's also a lot stiffer, which is, you know, kind of like a nice feeling of solid quality, like a good build quality feel compared to the Kaze Flex. It's a lot stiffer. And they also still have the rubber corners, which again still feels really nice, high quality rubber, not like some cheap crappy plasticky rubber. And it still uses some black cables again all the way to the fan motor, and also sleeve cables, which is all black again, so it looks really nice. Just like the previous fans, they really do pay attention to the details with these fans, so I really like that, unlike some cheaper fans. And while the fan design might look like the Noctua fan, this thing is actually a bit different, in which the fan blade to the fan frame gap is a bit bigger. That's probably because they use some kind of cheaper plastic, which is kind of more bendy, so they couldn't really close the gap because otherwise the fan would just scratch the frame. But that shouldn't be a problem. The fan design matters more than just a slightly bigger gap, I would think. So we'll have to see its actual performance once we try it. But yeah, it looks like a pretty nice fan. The only thing is that the fan blades are a bit bendy, which is quite unexpected for a more expensive fan than the Kaze Flex, and also, you know, a more static pressure oriented fan. And you can see the fan blade difference in design as well here, with the Kaze Flex being more straight and this fan being more swept forward. As well as the difference in the angle of attack of the fan blades. You can see the Kaze Flex fans have more angle of attack, so it's kind of meant more for airflow because it has a higher angle of attack, while the Wonder Snail fan has a lower angle of attack, which means it can spin faster and also use less energy, which can generate also higher static pressure because it spins faster. So that's a difference in fan design for sure. That's one designed for airflow and one designed more for higher static pressure, which apparently this fan is designed for radiators and heat sinks, so we'll have to see how that actually performs in real life compared to their standard Kaze Flex fans. For now, let's just try the fans and see how they sound and what kind of airflow do they produce and which ones feel like they produce the most amount of air. Now you can see that the Kaze Flex fans, even though they're only 1800 RPM, they sound a lot higher RPM than that because of the high angle of attack on the fan blades. And it does move quite a lot of air for an 1800 RPM fan, so it does make some noise, but it's all really just wind noise. And in terms of the airflow as well, it seems like these Kaze Flex fans kind of blow the air towards the side, so it's more of like a wider area of airflow, and it does blow a lot of air as well. So let's try the ARGB version. I won't be turning on the RGB because I don't have a controller for that, but yeah, it should be exactly the same like I expected, because they're exactly the same fans. So they do make quite a lot of wind noise, these type of fans, but it's really just wind noise. It's not motor noise, so it's not super annoying, at least in my opinion. Okay, so let's test their new fan design, the Wonder Snail, which is more different than the other ones, and see what the airflow and noise is like. So here at full speed at 2400 RPM, I would say that the noise is not actually that different compared to the Kaze Flex fans. That's probably because it doesn't actually blow that much more air, it's actually blowing less air, so the fan noise is really quite similar to me, at least. They really spec it lower, but it sounds similar to me. And it does blow a bit less air, I can feel that. But it's also more channeled in that the airflow is more focused to one lane, so it might be nice to point an airflow from the front case fan, for example, towards the back of the case or something. And it also might be more useful for a heatsink to push air straight through it instead of just out the sides. But yeah, I would say this fan blows a bit less air than the Kaze Flex fans, although the fan noise is quite similar. But it might have higher static pressure as they said, so it might be better for heatsinks and radiators. Now I'll just demonstrate this with a piece of tissue to show you how much difference the airflow is. You can see the Kaze Flex fans kind of like flap the tissue around way more than the Wonder Snail fan, as you can see here. The tissue isn't moving as much as on the Kaze Flex fan. I guess that's it for this video. I hope you do enjoy it, and if you do, maybe leave a like and maybe click subscribe to see my channel to see more of my future videos such as these unboxings or reviews or like buying guides of new GPUs and motherboards and stuff. But yeah, for now, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.